If Ava Reynolds had never been born, perhaps the world of cheaters would have stayed comfortably hidden in the shadows. But fate has a twisted sense of humor. This is your reminder from Daju, the godfather of all plot twists. Tap that follow and like button. Who knows, maybe $5 million will fall into your lap tomorrow. It was the 5th year of my engagement to Ava Reynolds. Without warning, she held a secret wedding ceremony with a college boy. I arrived just as the guests were cheering them on. Under their encouragement, Ava and the young man were kissing like no one was watching. When she saw me standing at the entrance, she smiled with those signature red lips and said lightly, "My brother wanted a wedding. Don't worry, we haven't registered for the certificate yet." I didn't say a word. I turned and walked away. Calmly, as if nothing had happened. She thought I was simply sulking, just another of my silent moods. But everything changed the moment the most prominent heiress in the DC social circle posted our marriage certificate online. The news spread like wildfire. That night, it poured. Rain hammered the streets. Ava stood outside my apartment, knocking frantically. Her hair was soaked, her makeup ruined, but her pride still intact. I opened the door with a quiet, satisfied smile. "Don't worry," I said, "we haven't had the wedding yet either." At that moment, Sophia Harper came down the stairs wearing a black camisole, her figure outlined in the soft lighting. She slipped her arms around me and pouted. "HMPH, so I have no status now?" Earlier, at Ava's wedding, the crowd had been lively and loud. Guests urged the newlyweds to kiss. The groom, a nervous college student in an ill-fitted suit, looked overwhelmed. Ava wrapped her arms around his neck and slowly deepened the kiss. I stood motionless in the crowd, watching. Chloe Reynolds, her younger sister, caught sight of me and froze. "Brother-in-law, what are you doing here?" she gasped. The music stopped. The entire hall fell silent. I walked toward the couple. The groom looked completely lost, unsure whether to flee or fight. Ava, however, wore no trace of guilt. Her voice was calm, even amused. "Liam Parker has been begging to marry me," she said. "But don't worry, we haven't gotten a marriage certificate. You're still the only one I consider my husband." Ava and I were childhood sweethearts. We grew up next door, played in the same backyards. And after college, our parents arranged the engagement. But everyone knew Ava loved attention. In our social circle, she was famous for her playful flings and ambiguous relationships. Her behavior brought me shame more than once. Still calm, I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out a small brocade box. "This is the engagement ring your family gave me," I said, handing it to her. "I'm giving it back." She took it, turning it in her hands like it was some trinket from an old memory. A smirk touched her lips. "Really? Returning the ring now? Is that your trick to make me panic this time?" But I saw it, the flicker of something real in her eyes, shock, disbelief, maybe even regret. I didn't falter. "Ava Reynolds, as of today, our engagement is over. From this moment forward, whatever happens in your marriage or mine has nothing to do with the other. We're done." Her expression changed instantly. "Noah Bennett," she snapped, "say that again." Chloe, realizing things had gone too far, rushed forward. "Brother-in-law, please calm down. This wedding wasn't real. Ava was just playing around. You're the one she's supposed to marry." I said nothing. I turned and walked away without looking back. Chloe turned to Ava, clearly panicked. "Sister, go after him, please. You've never gone this far before." But Ava just rolled her eyes and crossed her arms. "What's the point? He'll come back. He always does. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. And it won't be the last. No man can accept his fiancée marrying someone else." Chloe said sternly, "You really should go after him." Ava paused, glancing toward the door, her brows furrowed slightly as if, for a moment, she actually considered it. Then Liam tugged gently at her dress. Can I see the ring?" And with that, I walked away from the wedding, the crowd, and the girl I once thought I'd love forever. Blank. Blank. The moment I stepped into the bar, I called my friend Ethan Cole and told him to meet me for a few drinks. By the time he arrived, 2 bottles of red wine were already empty. He took one look at the table and immediately understood. Another fight with Ava Reynolds. "Let me guess," Ethan said dryly. sliding into the seat across from me. Did she run off with a celebrity this time? Or a college kid? At the sound of her name, something twisted in my chest. Sharp and cold. She got married today, I said flatly. Ethan's eyes darkened. He grabbed the neck of a wine bottle, ready to launch it across the room like a weapon. You should have dumped her ages ago. I swear, I made a group chat just for you. Top-tier women only. Take a look. I ignored his phone and stood to head to the bathroom. On the way, I caught sight of a woman leaning against the corridor wall. She wore a dark business skirt, sharply out of place in the dim, noisy bar, a cigarette balanced between her pale fingers. She looked cool, self-assured, maybe even dangerous. She noticed me looking and turned her head slightly, a crease forming between her brows. Sophia Harper. What was she doing here? I walked up casually. Ms. Harper, mind if I borrow a cigarette? She raised an eyebrow. Didn't you quit when you started dating Ava? What if she finds out you're smoking? I didn't reply. She stepped closer, her voice teasing. Word as she had a fairy tale wedding today. So, is that breakup official now? I took the cigarette and lighter from her, lit up with practiced ease, exhaled, and smiled. Sophia Harper, how about coming back to my place tonight? Our eyes locked. No more needed to be said. We were both adults. She took one final drag, stubbed out the cigarette, and chuckled. I suddenly remembered she wasn't just some random woman from the crowd. Sophia had always carried herself with quiet strength, and I almost felt the urge to explain myself, until she nodded. The second I unlocked my door with the fingerprint scanner, I turned, pressed her against it, wrapped my hand around the back of her neck, and kissed her hard. Sophia Harper, you're like a wild dog, I murmured against her lips. Bite a little gentler. She smirked and arched an eyebrow. Could you stop talking for once? The only thing you should be doing right now is making me speechless. The night blurred into hours of chaos and release. By dawn, my throat was raw, and I had a new definition for trouble from the mouth. The buzzing of my phone broke the silence. Still sprawled out in bed, I reached blindly across the sheets. Sophia let out a soft laugh beside me. She found my phone first. Her smile faded the moment she saw the screen. It was a video call, Ava Reynolds. Her face tightened. She handed me the phone without a word. I answered. Ava appeared, all composed indifference and forced smiles. Didn't you say yesterday that marriage doesn't mean anything between a man and a woman? So why do you go running to my father? Trashing Liam Parker the very next day? I sat up. Who went to your dad? Are you seriously losing it this early in the morning? She narrowed her eyes. Open your mouth. That caught me off guard. What? She heard the hoarseness in my voice. You sick? I grinned. Take a wild guess. Something clicked. Her eyes narrowed, and she leaned closer to the screen. Where are you? Who are you with? Ms. Reynolds, I said calmly. You and I are done. Who I'm with and where I am has nothing to do with you. Without waiting for her reply, I hung up. Back in the bar, Ava's face twisted in frustration. Her younger sister asked cautiously. Ava, Noah Bennett hung up on you. Do you think he really means to end things? Her assistant scoffed. No way. This is just one of his classic moves. Threatened to break it off so he can reel her back in. Blank. Underscore. Blank. If he really wants to cancel the engagement, can he bear the consequences? That was the question lingering in everyone's mind. But to us, it was obvious, he was acting. Pretending to be with another woman just to provoke Ava's jealousy. Hoping she'd come crawling back first. A classic tactic, tired and ineffective. Everyone laughed, but Ava Reynolds's face darkened. Her good mood had clearly vanished the moment she saw the call log. I frowned, visibly annoyed. Sophia Harper caught the shift in my expression. Leaning lazily against the headboard, she asked with a smirk. What's so special about Ava Reynolds anyway? She partied her way through life before the engagement. Do you really believe she'll settle down and stay loyal after marriage? I stayed silent, but my fingers tensed on the sheets. She's not worthy of you, Noah. I looked up, momentarily surprised by her directness. Sophia reached across the bed, grabbed the cigarette box from the nightstand, tapped one out, and handed it to me. Her expression changed, more serious now, thoughtful. When it comes to marriage, The Harper family stands just as tall as the Reynolds family, she said calmly. Her words lingered in the air. I narrowed my eyes. What are you trying to say? She met my gaze and spoke clearly. I know you've been eyeing the East District Development project for months. But let's be honest, winning it on your own won't be easy. If we get married and work together, everything gets simpler. I sat up, suddenly alert. The Harper family can win that project without help. Why share it with me? She tilted her head playfully. Maybe, because you performed exceptionally well last night. Her teasing tone made the corners of my mouth twitch. Despite myself, I paused, took a breath, and extended my right hand. Happy partnership. 40 minutes later, Sophia and I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. I stared at the red marriage certificate in my hand. Feeling oddly numb, she broke the silence. Let's go. To meet the client? I asked instinctively. She laughed softly, brushing her hair behind one ear. What are you thinking? Of course not. We're going on our honeymoon. Not long after, we were underwater, surrounded by the vast, deep blue. Wearing diving gear, we floated through coral gardens and swam with schools of fish so close we could almost touch them. Sophia gestured for me to follow her deeper. At a certain depth, I looked up, and saw a shimmering sea of stars overhead. The ocean surface reflected the sun like constellations dancing above us. It was surreal. When we returned to shore, a staff member ran up to me. Sir, your phone's been ringing non-stop. I powered it on. Instantly, dozens of notifications lit up the screen. Hello, Mr. Bennett, I'm the manager at DK Suit Shop. When would you like to come in for a fitting? Hello, Mr. Bennett, I'm in charge of your wedding planning. Which flowers do you prefer? We can have them air-shipped. Hello, Mr. Bennett, Ms. Reynolds ordered a diamond ring from us. When will you come try it on? We can adjust the size if needed. Suits, flowers, rings. I stared at the screen, my brows furrowing tighter with every new message. My phone number had been leaked. And then it rang again. Ava Reynolds. I hesitated, then answered. Her voice came in sharp and accusing. Where the hell have you been? I've called you 100 times. The office said you took a whole month off. I stayed calm. Where I go is none of your business. Don't forget, we broke up. She let out a laugh, breezy and fake. Oh, please, you only dumped me because Liam and I had that wedding shoot. What's the big deal? You want a wedding? I'll give you one too. Didn't you get the messages and calls? Go pick a suit, a venue, whatever you want. I stared at the ocean. You're insane. Though I couldn't see her face, I could imagine her reaction perfectly. Noah Bennett. You're seriously ending things over a wedding? Blank. Blank. I agreed to have another wedding with you. What more do you want? Her voice on the other end was sharp. Accusatory. Is the silent treatment not enough for you? I'm telling you. This is your one chance. If you don't want to get married now, then don't get married ever. That was Ava Reynolds, always the same. In her mind, offering an olive branch meant you had to grab it immediately. If you didn't, it was your fault. You were the villain, the crazy one. I gripped the phone tighter. We're done. Ava, don't call me again. Go marry whoever you want. She paused, and then, almost theatrically, she said, Fine, Noah Bennett, I gave you a chance. You turned it down. Don't come crawling back. Are you serious? Sophia Harper asked, stepping out of the bedroom in a fresh outfit. She looked me over. Was that Ava? I nodded, letting out a breath. She thinks I'm mad over a wedding. So now she wants to throw another one. She still believes that's all this is about. I shook my head, disgusted. How the hell did I ever fall for someone like that? Sophia didn't reply. She just smiled faintly and adjusted her scarf. A month later, Sophia and I were halfway around the world. We hiked through Iceland's glittering blue ice caves, where every step echoed against frozen walls of sapphire. In Turkey, we soared in a hot air balloon at sunrise, drifting above valleys painted in gold. When we returned to China, Ethan Cole invited me out. As I got dressed, I noticed the faint teeth marks Sophia had left on my neck the night before. I smirked and pulled on a high-collared coat to cover them. Ethan was already at the bar when I arrived. He poured us each a glass of wine before I even sat down. "I'm furious. Man," he blurted. "Ava Reynolds has completely lost it. She rented out every LED billboard in Beijing just to flash birthday wishes for Liam Parker. Had a bunch of A-list celebrities' record messages too. They're running it all month long." He slammed his glass down. "Has she ever once cared about your feelings?" I sipped my wine. "Calm. I'm married now." He blinked, stunned. "You're what?" I pulled out the marriage certificate and laid it on the table. His eyes widened. "No way. Sophia Harper? You actually locked her down?" He whistled, laughing in disbelief. "Damn, Ava can't hold a candle to her. I can't wait to see her face when she finds out." He seemed to let go of all his anger in that moment. "We've gotta celebrate. My treat tonight." Ethan doesn't drink much, but that night he got a little too enthusiastic. After a few bottles, he was completely out of it. I helped him settle in and said, "Stay here and rest. I'll go get you some hangover tea." As I stepped into the corridor, I ran into Chloe Reynolds. She beamed at me. "Brother-in-law, finally, Ava and everyone are in box number 6. I stiffened. "Chloe, Ava and I are done. From now on, just call me Noah." She blinked, confused, then tried to smooth things over. "She really went too far. I know, but just give her a chance to apologize. Okay? We're in box 6. You'll have to pass it anyway to get back to box 3. She added before disappearing down the hall. I hadn't planned to, but when I walked past, I couldn't help but pause. Through the slight gap in the door, I saw her, Ava Reynolds, elegant as ever, draped lazily across the velvet sofa. Liam Parker sat beside her, dutifully pouring her wine. Chloe had just entered the room and was talking to her. "Hey, Ava, I just saw Noah outside. I told him you're still not over him. I didn't think he'd actually last a whole month without calling." Ava's assistant chimed in right away. "Exactly, it's only been a month. He probably saw you celebrating Liam's birthday and couldn't take it. That's why he came." But Ava's expression was cold. She swirled her wine slowly. "Who asked him to come?" she muttered. "We've broken up. That's enough." Her assistant whispered, "Be careful, Ava. This is the first time he's gone this long without contacting you. Maybe, just let him go. Otherwise, your brother-in-law's going to be pissed again." Ava turned to Liam, who sat stiffly beside her, looking more like a decoration than a man. He lowered his head and spoke weakly. "Ms. Reynolds, today is my birthday." I took off my coat and pushed the door open. Everyone turned to look at me. The mark on my neck was too obvious. Even in the dim light of the bar, Ava Reynolds still saw it. She stood up abruptly, squinting at me. "What's on your neck?" Thinking about how Sophia Harper had deliberately left those marks on me last night. I smirked and replied clearly, "Kiss marks." Ava picked up the wine glass on the table and hurled it to the ground. The crash echoed. Anger burned in her eyes. "Who did it? Noah Bennett. You really went out and found another woman behind my back, didn't you? Does who did it have anything to do with you?" I said coldly. "Ava Reynolds. A qualified ex should be as good as dead." She sneered. "Noah Bennett, if I ever contact you again, I'm a dog." Ethan Cole was sipping the sobering tea when I returned. He looked up and asked, "Why were you gone so long?" "I almost went out to look for you. I had to take care of something," I replied. "Otherwise, there'd be flies buzzing around forever. Annoying. Let's go." We drank a little more and called a designated driver. Not long after, the college kid Ava Reynolds had married, graduated, and entered the entertainment industry. After gaining some traction, he hired trolls to comment under Bennett Group's official social media accounts. "Ms. Reynolds treats Liam differently. She's even willing to hold a wedding for him. Someone should learn to back off and stop clinging to the title of Ms. Reynolds's fiancée. If you're not loved, you're just the mistress. Let go already. Help Ms. Reynolds and Liam be together in peace. Stop being so shameless." My assistant showed me the tablet. Mr. Bennett, should we delete all these misleading comments? I shook my head. No. Dig up dirt on Liam Parker and send it to the paparazzi. Also, notify every media company we work with not to give him any exposure. Got it, Mr. Bennett. What if Ms. Reynolds intervenes? Ignore her. Just do what I told you. An hour later, Liam Parker's comment section exploded. You're a homewrecker. Hiding is one thing, but openly provoking the real deal? Shameless. I went to school with Liam Parker. He looked polite, but he bullied me constantly just because he came from money. I still have burn scars from him. I'm Liam Parker's stunt double. He only shows his face for the close-ups. I do everything else. The worst one is Ava Reynolds. She changes boyfriends like clothes. A woman like that should have never existed. Back in Ava's office, Chloe paced nervously. Sister Ava, your boyfriend called you again. He's getting slaughtered by netizens. Noah Bennett is still himself. He'll get revenge on everyone except you. Ava didn't answer. Instead, she asked, has Noah Bennett called you these days? Everyone in the room exchanged looks. No one answered. Chloe finally broke the silence. You hyped up Liam Parker to provoke Noah, didn't you? But it backfired. The news about you two is everywhere. Sister Ava, another assistant added, if you still want to be with Noah Bennett, just humble yourself and call him. It won't kill you. Ava turned away. If someone else gets to him first, then so be it. If he wants to leave, let him. I don't need him. That evening, I received a message from Ethan Cole. Blank, _ blank. They say every scandal has its origins. But that night I forgot to mention something. Word in the circle was that Sophia Harper liked women. Ridiculous, right? I wanted to laugh when I saw the message. But before I could even reply, something dark blocked my vision. Do I like women? I looked up and met Sophia Harper's puzzled eyes. I had no words. I thought, maybe I'll try again tonight. See if I like men or women. By the time I snapped out of it, Sophia had already pinned me to the bed. I don't know if it was the alcohol or just the storm outside. But she looked especially beautiful that night. When things got intense, she propped herself up and bit my shoulder. Rain pounded the windows. The air in the room felt thick with tension and desire. My phone kept buzzing on the bedside table. But nothing could distract us, not yet. Eventually, the moment passed. Sophia picked up the phone, glanced at the screen, and raised an eyebrow. It's Ava Reynolds. Want to answer it? I shook my head. Bennett, she clings to you like a dog with a bone. It's annoying. Then you answer it. I don't know if it was my imagination, but there was a flicker of triumph in Sophia's eyes. She tapped the screen. Hello? Ava's drunken voice came through. Noah Bennett, I'm drunk. Come pick me up. I've been such a mess lately. Why don't you care? Sophia scoffed. It's me. There was a pause on the other end. Then Ava spoke through gritted teeth. Sophia Harper, you're shameless. So proud to be a mistress. Aren't you? We're married, legally. Why are you calling my husband in the middle of the night? This is insane. Her voice softened suddenly. Bennett, come get me, please. Let's stop fighting. I took the phone. Ava Reynolds, I've made it clear. You're just my ex. Sophia smiled and kissed my cheek. I didn't wait for Ava's reply. I hung up. At the bar, Ava stared at her phone. Frozen. Her assistants and friends surrounded her. I don't think he's coming back this time. Ava, honestly, it's not even his fault. You've pushed too far for too long. Private drama is one thing. But you always make a scene. If I were Noah, I would have left years ago. He held on way too long. Just let him go. You don't even love him. Ava didn't say a word. She grabbed her car keys and stormed out. You can't drive. You've been drinking. Someone shouted behind her. But she was gone. It's over. Someone whispered. She's going to find Noah. And Sophia's there. God, it's going to blow up. Back at my place, Sophia Harper lounged on the bed. She picked up her phone and smirked. Noah, I'm going to post this on my moments. You're way too tempting tonight. I nodded without thinking. Within a minute of posting, the comments rolled in. Congratulations. You finally got what you wanted. Wait, does Noah know you've been in love with him for years? Why does that guy look so familiar? Isn't he Ms. Reynolds' fiancé? What's happening? Sophia laughed and replied to a few of them before skipping off to the shower. That's when I heard the knock, sharp, desperate, on the door downstairs. And I already knew who it was. I took the marriage certificate out of the closet, wrapped a towel around my waist, and headed downstairs. When I opened the door, I had a smug smile on my face. Ava Reynolds stood in the rain, soaked to the bone. Bennett, she said softly, I won't cause trouble anymore. Let's make peace. At the time, I didn't think much of it. To me, it had just been a wedding, a meaningless formality. Something we did for fun. I leaned against the doorframe and held up the certificate in my hand. Now that I've got the marriage certificate, I said coolly, all that's left is the wedding. And of course, Ms. Reynolds, you'll be invited. Just then, Sophia Harper came downstairs in a black camisole. She curled into my side, her voice playful. So, does that mean I don't have a real status yet? Ava's eyes burned with fury. Her voice trembled. I treated you as my best friend. And you went after Noah Bennett. Sophia chuckled darkly. You think that's betrayal? Do you even know how many awful things you've done? He tolerated you for 5 years. Ava, and you pushed him away every step of the way. Ava stood motionless in the rain, tears streaming down her cheeks. Bennett, she whispered, I'm drunk. Will you take me home? Sophia let out a curse and slammed the door shut. She turned to me, pushed me up against it, her breath warm on my neck. Outside, Ava pounded on the door like a storm. Bennett, Sophia said, her voice low and demanding. When are we getting married? I want a real status. You threw that lavish engagement party for her. I want our wedding to be even better. I kissed her lips and nodded. Okay. The next morning, I got a call from Chloe Reynolds. Ava crashed her car into a guardrail on her way home last night. The front end's totaled. She's lucky to be alive. No major injuries. But she's in the hospital now. Brother-in-law, could you come see her? She refuses to eat or take any medication. She keeps saying she needs to see you. I paused. How many numbers do you have left to call me? She hesitated. Just this one. I ended the call and blocked her. Why didn't Ava turn to her parents? Or her current boyfriend? Why come running to me? Her ex-fiancé. Now married? Chloe showed her the phone screen. Ava, he's blocked me. Noah Bennett really doesn't want you anymore. Ava stared at the screen. Her eyes empty. Later, she left the hospital when no one was looking. One afternoon, I dropped by the apartment to grab some documents. And there she was. Ava Reynolds, sitting on the flower bed outside the building. Still wearing her hospital gown. When she saw me, she stood up and walked over slowly. Bennett, she said gently. I pressed my fingers to my temple. Tired. What do you want from me? Ava? Maybe it was the illness. But she looked so frail. Sophia planned this, she murmured. She's been obsessed with you for a long time. She wanted us to break up. She made it happen. Don't you remember? Back in school, someone slipped a love letter into your bag. And you were furious. That was her. Sophia Harper. I blinked. What? Sophia? She was always so distant. Cold. No one even dared talk to her. Let alone get her contact info. Ava nodded slowly. It was her. She was jealous that we were engaged. So she framed me. That love letter you found? That was her doing. So you're saying, I said, voice flat, she forced you to date Liam Parker? Forced you into holding a wedding with him? Ava lowered her gaze. She didn't answer. I took the marriage certificate out of the closet, wrapped a towel around my waist, and headed downstairs. When I opened the door, a smug smile tugged at my lips. Ava Reynolds stood in the rain, drenched and shivering. Noah, she said softly, I won't cause any more trouble. Let's make peace. At the time, I didn't think much of it. To me, the marriage had been nothing more than a formality, something we did for fun. Leaning against the doorframe, I held up the certificate. Now that I've got the marriage certificate, I said coolly, all that's left is the wedding. And of course, Ms. Reynolds, you'll be invited. Just then, Sophia Harper came downstairs in a black camisole. She curled into my side, her voice playful. So, does that mean I don't have real status yet? Ava's eyes flared with fury. Her voice trembled. I treated you like my best friend. And you went after Noah Bennett. Sophia let out a dark laugh. You call that betrayal? Do you even realize the terrible things you've done? He tolerated you for 5 years. Ava. And you pushed him away every single time. Ava stood motionless in the rain, tears streaming down her face. Noah, she whispered, I'm drunk. Can you take me home? Sophia cursed and slammed the door. She turned to me, pressing me against it, her breath warm against my neck. Outside, Ava pounded on the door like a storm. Noah, Sophia said, her voice low and firm. When are we getting married? I want real status. You threw that lavish engagement party for her. I want our wedding to be even better. I kissed her and nodded. Okay. The next morning, I got a call from Chloe Reynolds. Ava crashed her car into a guardrail on her way home last night. The front end's totaled. She's lucky to be alive. No major injuries. But she's in the hospital now. Brother-in-law, can you come see her? She won't eat or take her medication. She keeps saying she needs to see you. I paused. How many numbers do you still have to reach me? She hesitated. Just this one. I ended the call and blocked her. Why didn't Ava turn to her parents? Or her current boyfriend? Why come running to me, her ex-fiancé? Now married? Chloe showed Ava the phone screen. He's blocked me. Noah Bennett really doesn't want you anymore. Ava stared blankly at the screen, as if it were her final thread to the past, now severed. Later, she left the hospital when no one was looking. One afternoon, I dropped by the apartment to grab some documents. And there she was, Ava Reynolds, sitting on the flowerbed outside the building. Still wearing her hospital gown. She looked lost, brittle, her shoulders curled in against the wind like she was trying to disappear. When she saw me, she stood up slowly. Noah, she said gently. I rubbed my temples, already tired. What do you want from me, Ava? Maybe it was the illness. But she looked fragile. Sophia planned this, she murmured. She's been obsessed with you for years. She wanted us to break up. She made it happen. Don't you remember back in school? Someone slipped a love letter into your bag. And you were furious. That was her. Sophia Harper. I blinked. What, Sophia? She was always so distant. Cold. No one even dared talk to her. Let alone get her number. Ava nodded. It was her. She was jealous that we were engaged. So she framed me. That love letter you found? That was her doing. So you're saying, I said flatly, she forced you to date Liam Parker? Forced you to plan a wedding with him? Ava lowered her gaze. She didn't answer. That silence said more than any excuse could. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Uncle Noah, I got a fever from being out in the rain last night. I feel really sick. Can I go upstairs and get a glass of water? No, I said firmly. I'm married now. I pulled out my phone and called Mr. Reynolds. Okay, Uncle, I'll be there soon, he said. When he arrived, he slapped Ava across the face in anger. Why are you still humiliating yourself like this? Look at everything you've done. I'm too ashamed to face Noah's parents because of you. Let's go, now. Uncle, I've got some meetings later. I'll leave first. All right, go handle your work. I'll take Ava home. I nodded politely and left. I didn't expect that when I returned later. Ava Reynolds was still sitting there. She was wearing a thin hospital gown. Passers-by glanced over, curious or concerned. She stared blankly at the gate, as if hoping it might still open to the life she'd lost. When she saw my car pull in, she immediately stood up. I sighed, not wanting to deal with her. As I walked past, she stepped in front of me and held out a brocade box. I never planned to give this ring to anyone else, she said. Will you take it back? A bitter smile crossed my lips as I pulled out my phone. I showed her a photo. Liam Parker had posted a selfie wearing that exact ring. Ava's face turned pale. That was the day you left. He said he just wanted to see it. So I let him try it on. That's all. I didn't bother replying. I shook off her hand and went upstairs. When Sophia Harper returned, I saw the two of them arguing on the landing. Sophia Harper, what makes you better than me? Do you dare to tell Noah everything you've done? I cheated because of your schemes. Right? The East District project. It was just a trap you set for him. Noah, don't be fooled by her. Sophia glanced at me nervously. I took her hand, lacing our fingers together. Then I handed a box of wedding candy to Ava. Sophia and I are getting married on the 8th of next month. You're welcome to attend. Back in the apartment, Sophia was quiet, lost in thought. It was the first time I'd seen her like that. She finally spoke. Some of what Ava said is true. I knew you wanted the East District project, so I used it as an excuse to marry you. Her cheating, that was something I orchestrated. I'm not the woman you think I am. I'm good at reading people and playing them. I said calmly. I know the kind of person Ava Reynolds is. Even without you, she would have cheated eventually. Sophia's eyes widened. Don't blame me. I chuckled. Of course I don't. I married you after careful thought. Only naive people marry for love alone. Sophia's tense shoulders finally relaxed. The East District project progressed smoothly. Our wedding preparations were underway. One day, while I was deciding whether to go with all chocolate for the wedding candy or mix in different kinds, a notification popped up on my phone. Your friend is live streaming. I clicked on it, confused. Ava Reynolds was kneeling on the ground in utter humiliation. The knees of her pants were torn. She crawled forward step by step. And with each step, she said, I'm sorry, Noah Bennett. I remembered when we first fell in love. She'd once said, if I ever cheat on you, I'll crawl step by step to Wu Laoshan to beg for forgiveness. Watching that insane scene, I was silent for a full minute. My finger hovered over the screen longer than I'd like to admit. Then I pulled out my phone and gave her a thumbs up. They say you rarely get to see the true face of power crumble, but today, everyone did. The president of Reynolds Group, once so high and untouchable, was now kneeling in full view of the world. People couldn't stop talking. Late apologies are cheaper than dirt, someone muttered. Why bother now? Didn't she switch boyfriends like outfits? She was hot and heavy with Liam Parker just last week. And now, she's begging her ex-fiancé? The comments were cruel, but no one held back. People compared her to Noah Bennett's current wife, tall, slender, elegant, a picture of poise. In contrast, the woman in the video looked nothing like the powerful heiress they once knew. Ava Reynolds was unrecognizable. She was on Wu Laoshan, actually kneeling and climbing her way up with swollen knees and bloodied palms. It would take her at least a full day and night to reach the summit. And the most humiliating part? She kept crying out, I'm sorry, Noah Bennett, I'm sorry. She looked like she'd lost her mind. Just then, my phone rang. It was Chloe Reynolds. Noah, I know Ava hurt you. But she's not well. She's still burning up with a fever. And her body hasn't recovered. Could you at least call her? She's been asking for you. I gave a cold laugh. If you've got time to call me, maybe you should gather a few people and drag her back to the hospital. But no one could stop her. With each step, Ava Reynolds kept kneeling, ignoring the crowd, the calls, the begging. Chloe and the others tried everything. But Ava refused to give up. She finally reached the summit the next night. Barely conscious, a helicopter airlifted her straight to emergency care. When Mr. Reynolds called, I was finalizing my wedding plans with my father. Bennett, I have no face to ask this. But Ava wants to see you. She won't talk to anyone else. My father gestured for the phone, calm, composed. Mr. Reynolds, my son's about to get married. It may not be appropriate for him to meet your daughter right now. How about this? I'll send my daughter-in-law instead. She and Ava go way back. Maybe she can talk to her. Mr. Reynolds let out a deep sigh. If Sophia Harper shows up, it might make things worse, or push Ava over the edge. But my father cut in quickly. Sometimes, you fight poison with poison. Let's give it a try. So, Sophia Harper went. I waited outside the hospital room. Inside, When Ava saw Sophia, her whole face twisted with jealousy and resentment. Sophia Harper, I never expected it. I walked straight into the trap you set. From day one, I was dancing to your tune and didn't even know it. Sophia stayed calm. You couldn't control yourself. So who's to blame? You schemed too much. Ava, without your lies, Bennett and I never would have ended up together. I left for a walk. I didn't hear what else they said, but something must have changed. After that day, Ava Reynolds disappeared from my life. For a while. But then I started running into Liam Parker. He looked smaller than I remembered. Nervous, his fingers twisted anxiously as he asked, "Brother Bennett, can we talk?" His voice barely rose above a whisper. I waited for him to speak, but he just kept his head down. After what felt like forever, I stood to leave, and that's when he blurted it out. "Ava's pregnant." I took a long sip of coffee, keeping my face unreadable. "And what exactly are you coming to me for, Mr. Parker? Surely you're not trying to say the child is mine?" Liam looked stunned. "Of course not. The child is mine, but she doesn't want it. She's planning to terminate the pregnancy. I don't want anything from her. I'll return everything she ever gave me. Just help me talk her out of it. It was supposed to be over between us. But fate doesn't end things, it waits. As long as she gives birth to this child." Liam Parker's voice trembled. I let out a cold, cutting laugh. "Mr. Parker, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm her ex-fiancé. What reason would I have to talk her out of anything? And don't bother putting on an act in front of me. I know exactly what you're after. Once she gives birth to your child, you'll probably be expecting another little gift, won't you?" Liam Parker's face drained of color. Then, without warning, he dropped to his knees. "But she still thinks about you. She has you in her heart and her eyes. If it weren't for you, she might have decided to keep the baby. Everyone says I'm different, the exception. That I'm the only one she ever considered marrying." He looked up at me. Desperate. "She gave me a red rope bracelet once. Said it meant we were tied together for life." I raised an eyebrow. "Ava Reynolds has handed out plenty of exceptions. You're not the only one who got a red rope bracelet." Liam flinched. "You're lying," he whispered. "She never gave that to anyone else. People say I'm the one who's been with her the longest. It has to mean something. That bracelet, it was just for me, right?" I stared at him in silence. Liam opened his mouth, trying to respond, but nothing came out. No defense, no denial. "Look," I said flatly, "she doesn't even want to see you anymore. So let me make this simple. I don't want to see you either. Don't show up at my company again. We're not close. And we never were." I turned to my assistant. "See Mr. Parker out." The sun shone bright on my wedding day. Every seat was filled with friends and family from our circle. "Congrats, man. Honestly, I always thought you'd end up marrying Ava Reynolds," one of them said. Chuckling. Before he could finish, Ethan Cole jumped in. "Hey, watch what you say. This is Bennett's wedding day. Don't bring up that name." Ethan never liked Ava Reynolds. The mere mention of her soured his mood. "My bad. Sorry," the friend mumbled. "Didn't mean anything by it." I smiled and brushed it off. "It's fine. Go ahead. Find your seat. We're about to start." The ceremony was traditional Chinese. Grand and solemn. The venue was draped in red and gold. And every detail had been planned to perfection. Sophia Harper looked radiant. Her wedding robe shimmered with golden phoenix embroidery. A delicate phoenix crown resting atop her head. Tassels swaying gently as she walked. Two families united. One vow. One hall. One future. Our names were joined. Our lives bound. After the ceremony, Sophia changed into her toast dress, a fitted, elegant gown that lit up the room. That's when Chloe Reynolds found me, clutching something tightly in her hands. "These are Buddhist prayer beads," she said, eyes misty. "Ava asked for them herself at Mount Wu Laoshan. She wanted you to have them." I froze. Chloe's voice dropped. "She regrets everything. She said if she could do it all over again, she'd never let you go." Her words hung in the air. I glanced at Sophia. Her face was pale. Lips pressed tight. I smiled politely, but my tone was firm. "Chloe, this isn't the time. You shouldn't bring something like this to my wedding. It's bad luck." I didn't take the beads. As Chloe left, I caught a glimpse of Ava from afar. She was standing at the edge of the crowd, watching. The moment she saw me refuse the beads, her expression crumbled. Her eyes filled with pain as she turned away and walked off beside her sister, disappearing into the crowd. And from my life. From that day on, I never saw Ava Reynolds again. Later that night, after the guests had gone, Sophia and I returned home. She collapsed onto the bed, still in her makeup and earrings. I knelt beside her and gently undid the buttons of her dress. In the bathroom, steam blurred the mirrors. I pulled her close, wrapping my arms around her waist, her back against my chest. Before she could speak, I kissed her, softly at first, then deeper, urgently. 1,000 unspoken emotions passed between us in that moment. And outside, the world kept turning.